Right? What are you going to do? I'll be cursing with it, right? So what happened? So what did Hashem answer Moshe Rabbeinu? Amalei, say, right. But Rebbe, how can I write? People want to come to wrong ideas. How can I write it? So Hashem says, litais yita. Those that want, it's up to their will. If they want to see that in the text, they'll see it. They'll take that idea and shove it into the text. And they'll say, doesn't it say so? All right, it says it, the words say it. Translate the word. And they'll push their ideas, and which is a very good idea. And you see, that's what it says. That's what it says. Ha, 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 it says. And those that want, and those that don't want, won't. Why? What will the man who doesn't want to see, who says it can't be, that's the pshat? Because I know it's against the seichel. It's against one of the ideas that God is one, and nobody else made man. And how can it be? What happened over here? But we'll learn. What do we learn out of it? Shagodol tzorech limloich b'katan. That even though you're bigger than the person, you're supposed to take advice from somebody who is smaller than you. First of all, that concept is very hard. Why have a bigger, smarter man, the president of a company, the big Talmud Chacham, Einstein has to call in his little guy and say, listen, I want to talk over my theory of relativity, if you agree or don't agree. And the guy said, well, Einstein talked to me, I must be smarter than him, Right? Hashem said, Odom Harishon, Ayeka, where are you? Hashem asked, Ayeka, where am I? I want you to hear this, Shlomo. The hell with the world. The hell? Ayeka, where are you? So, if I say, where are you, what does that mean? Hashem doesn't know. Hashem doesn't know. Hi. What do you mean? How should he have? Because he's guilty. So how does he look at the text? God said it. Clear as day. I made it do it. That's good. How should he make it? So, derech eretz, what I mean? There should be that, God is telling me in a nice way, listen, shape up your act, did you do anything wrong? And so just take the niceties of the thing. Now, how do you say a big man asked a little guy? That's against the seichel. No big guy asked a little guy. You don't have that. And if he calls the little guy in, what does the little guy say? This is a con job. This is not a real communication. This is not real asking advice from me. He doesn't listen to me anyway. So what am I telling him anyway? What is he doing this for? To make me feel good? Come on, what is this? It's a fake out. So what came in the end? So what is meant that the big man takes advice from the little guy? And we have to learn that rule. I used to go with my Rosh Yeshiva and drive in his car. Tell me all his plans, I would tell him my ideas, and do the opposite. So I used to say, Rabbi, what are you asking me all these things for? What are you asking my advice for? You're not going to do what I say anyway. And everything you say. So he bounces. The first thing he bounces it off to talk it out. Here's what people say. In order to get a little bit, to learn how far what it is. You know what I mean? And then years later, when I learned this text, I said, we must do it because... it must be because that's what the Chazal says. But if you follow Chazal, so of course there's advantages to what Chazal say. Chazal say to do something, maybe you do it for derech eretz, but if you do what Chazal say, of course you'll get advantages and you gain from different parts and different things. But he didn't want me to feel bad. He does derech eretz. I'm a pawn for derech eretz. As if I don't exist, I'm not there, and he's using me out for his derech eretz that he has to talk to somebody in order to be able to you. What do? Where am I? I don't exist. My words don't exist. I'm not around. And even when I do say it, I don't exist anyway. So, okay, so tell me how I exist. But anyway, this is a hard concept. This is a hard concept to hear, and the Torah has to teach it to you. Teach you this Kiddush Hadar. Who can hear a Kiddush like that? One who doesn't want to be told that because he knows basically Hashem is good and the world is built upon derech eretz, and the world derech means midos tovos and the hanhogarai, and the Torah is built on that way, and Hashem does the world that way. the Torah is Lashon B'nei Adam, and you have to have the relationship. There's all kinds of things there to teach man how to grow and what to do and how to act in life. The main thing is acting life in the proper midos and the rishus, so we can understand very good. So for that derech eretz, Hashem put a text in the Torah that what? You can make a mistake. Because the Torah, so who would hear that? So it's very simple. Whatever you want, you'll push it. So maybe derech eretz is a push-in idea. He says, no, you'll understand the essence of the Torah and God. You'll come up with this point, and you have the midos. You'll see it. Comes the Chofetz Chaim adds an added word. There was a great man called Talmai HaMelech. And he took 70 Jews, 70 big rabbis, and he put them in little areas, locked up areas, and each one had to write the Torah. And all of them recognized that that really, if you read the Torah and you read the Torah right, you'll never make a mistake. Why don't I make a mistake? Because you'll understand that this is what it means. It means what? In the beginning, in the creation, you have kasha, like Rashi says, if it's down in the earth, I'll come over later on, he says this and that. You have all kinds of steers. You'll figure it out that it means in the beginning of the creation of it. But if a guy reads the text alone, so it comes out terrible. So they have to say, Hashem bara, that God created, you have to have a subject and a predicate, So they have it. Or anything else. So they had many things that, because the people, I would call it the outsiders that listened to the Torah, who didn't have the pneumius, who had their way, set way of understanding or reading correctly and not understanding the essence of the Torah, where you have to understand the essence of the Torah. Not where you're not supposed to, you say, what's the spirit of the Torah, and forget about the words. But the other way around, that when you hear the words and the text of a literal text doesn't come out right, so you go to the spirit of it and understand what it means and try to drain. It doesn't mean that, it's not doctor. It means this, it means that, whatever it may be, because that's, you understand the way of the Torah. But those who are not trained, the outsiders, so then Talmai HaMelech, everyone made the same changes, right? When it came to this pasuk, what did they write? Which they did in Talmai HaMelech. The Chofetz Chaim says, Gam kein hoya toya. Even if they wrote Ese Adam, I don't know what the Nase Adam and the Ese Adam, they also would make a mistake. Not only the Nase Adam, even the change that they made for Talmai HaMelech, whatever it is, also they could still make a mistake. Why? For the reason that a man pushes in to a text what he wants to say. So you say, what's wrong, Rabbi? If I get to see the right words, the right ideas. The shaila is, our job is to know Torah teaches what it says. Our job is to know, what does God want? What does he say? What is his message? And we have to train ourselves to have that machine to know what Hashem is really saying. What's his message? And to read a little text, a Bir HaShmuel, and to read a little Taisvus, it's so difficult. You have 5 rabbis explaining it different ways. I mean, you can't read down it. Can the Marsha read? And the Pnei Yeshua can't read straight. Pnei says, you don't read straight. Every time you can't read, it's a question of understanding. You don't read straight. It's built upon understanding. Of course, the way you understand is the way you read the text. Okay? Hard to read. Hard to read. Hard to figure out. But one thing is you have to know the source of where your feelings come, where it comes from. It has to be open for discussion. But you have to try to see at the end that it's a word of Torah, a word from God. And this is hard. This is very hard. And therefore we train you in Musa. Is it muchach or not muchach? If it's muchach, so you have it more, as much muchach as it could be. Or at least, this is the word of the Chofetz Chaim. You give a name to it according to this rabbi, he tells his view. So in that rabbi's view, I want to build up. Good. You have understanding. Other views will learn differently. Okay, good. But at least you have a brick according to the Chofetz Chaim. And you have another brick according to whatever it is, whoever may be. Look at the Chazal. Derech Eretz Kodmon Torah. Where they learn it from, Shlomo? It's Vayikra Rabbah Perik Tes. Derech Eretz Kodmon Torah. How did I know this from? Because the pasuk says, "Lishmor is Derech Eitz Hachayim." Derech Zeh Derech Eretz. Vachas Eitz Hachayim. This big principle of Derech Eretz Kodmon Torah is built on a drush. If they said it's Svara. Exactly what I'm talking about. They shove it in what text? It's a drush. Derech Eretz Kodmon Torah. I assume when he brings it down, that's the pasuk, that's the source. I don't know where else it is. Could be, but he brings this down. So I said, what kind of source is that? That's real Jewish. And the teretz is here that in understanding the Yesodos of Torah, in understanding the Yesodos of Hashem and His creation, we understand that this has to be that way. And when it says Derech Hashem, that was for Remez and whatever it is, but that's what it means. That's what it's about. Because it fits in, and it's not a question of pushing it in. It's an integral part of the basic understanding of what the Torah is about, what it is. No, maybe a remez, a drush, but it's clear. And then Nochanami, the Torah talks about a remez. And the Leviticus Torah is really a remez. You can't have the Torah say something's greater than Torah. Only time remez to tell you the importance of Torah, etc. Because the Torah has to be complete. The Torah has to be on its own. The Torah cannot be on something else besides its own. So if it's beremez, we understand beremez. Kofetz Chaim says, which is not his word, Kol HaRotze. Why is it Lashon Rotze? Kol HaRotze, Yideh. So it seems to be it's on the Bechira of man. Even though, so I would answer, since you know Derech, who knows, that a man has to check his source. So you have to check, where is your source that you got, where you get this idea from? Is it outside the Torah? Is it a swear without the Torah, with the Torah? And then, why do you choose this explanation of the Torah, the Mashur, the Taisus? Why do you desire? Why is this more no'os l'seichel for you than something else? Why did you make a decision? This yes and that no. When you get smicha, what is smicha? Smicha means rely upon your value judgment. Value doesn't mean you weigh things. And you make a willful decision, responsibility. I hold this as a view. It's totally in your ratzon. Why in your ratzon did you think this way rather than another way? That's a very strong word. Hashem says. Like totally in your Bechira, you won. And it's not just, look, I have to think this way, I am that way. But it's called HaRotze Lita, one who wants to be told. You're begging the issue. Because if you really search the MS, you know it can't be. It's impossible for a man to believe that if God created the world, whatever the definition of God is, that how can he have anybody else create with him besides himself? It's an impossibility. How could you say there's Olul and Ilu, you know, the creator and creator, as if there's no difference? I mean, crazy. Who can have such a job like that? Because you have a Godhead, you want to push yourself. You want to push yourself. That's why you want to see it that way. Because it's your ego, it's your feeling, and here I will agree with all these modern people that a person should what? Maybe because of his personality or psychological, or he's pushing his trip in. At this point, I agree. Lita is. I don't know what the pasuk means.
So Rashi says that on
What?
Rashi says in the Dayonim. Dayonim called the Elohim.
But where did Rashi? No, where did Rashi get it from? A pasuk. No, in Mishpatim that says what? If you have any trouble, you go. And Akim there means what? Dayonim. So now you have two meanings. Doesn't mean Hashem, or it means Dayonim. Once already you know the word Akim means Dayonim. Now you have a text that means Dayonim or Akim.
Okay, so now what it means, why they call Dayonim and Akim?
That's it.
What?
Because they represent the view of Hashem. But Chas v'Sholom, do you think anybody thinks that a Dayan's Elokim? If the Dayan thinks I'm Elokim, what would they do with the guy? They take him away. They kill the guy. Nobody takes that. Doesn't mean it means I represent the words of God. That's what it means. Yes. Nobody thinks otherwise. Yes, Joe. Okay. No, I will answer you. Some places they answer you right away. Dama lo hashu. You gotta know how to answer not because.
What's the next words?
And the answer, you said you're metaik on this word. You see your deed doesn't work out. So you knock the guy off on the spot and you bury him. You go. Sometimes yes, sometimes not. But sometimes you let the guy be Torah. Here the Torah wrote it. So Moshe Rabbeinu, how can I take the responsibility of writing Torah when people will come to a mistake? Moshe says, right? Don't worry. So also we see another chiddush. Harotza litol sit. If a guy wants to mistake, they let the guy. The Derech Hashem rotza leilech. And it's a place where Hashem lets him be Torah and even pushes him. And the answer for that is an old answer. Because of Bechira. If everything would be only one way, then nobody would be Torah, so you'll never have Bechira. That's written in the Kuzari, written in other books. on this type of a question and an answer. Okay, John?
So according to what you're saying, if a person...
You can go, Shlomo.
On that pasuk says what he's saying, should he not be told this over here? Or because maybe Dafi...
Where he asks, it's an answer where it answer. That's in the category of Dama lo hashiv. He asked over the answer there, could have brought it here, could have brought it here. But the answer he answered, that's what the answer there. Why this way, that way? Who knows? They couldn't give him any answers. Yes, somebody had a hand there. Yes, Glover. Why do you get emotional? Why do you say it's emotional? I answered is, it's impossible to have that view that the Torah is complete and not have the bottom inside. How else could he have made the Aron without the... make the Aron without the bottom inside? I asked. There's nothing to... You couldn't learn... Oh, what? So then what did the Ralbag say? That we learned this out. Right? Right? Then that means we didn't know it. If we didn't know it, so we didn't know it. Don't say we didn't know. We knew it, but we knew it in another dimension. We didn't know it. I mean, didn't know in another dimension means not knowing. Maybe we didn't know it altogether.
Maybe for some reason...
Or maybe this... But I answered that also. I said, I didn't explain what's special about this case and knowing about it. That the bottom are inside. Because there's a big problem. You can use the Torah, and Torah knows all. So I asked a question, the Torah know all? I said, simply I would say the Torah talks about Kedushas Yisrael and mitzvahs and how Am Yisrael should work. But it doesn't tell us a mathematical formula and all that. So it doesn't tell us everything. Elamai, you're going to push me off at what it means, even mathematical formulas. So I said, you also, good. But there are many other things that can tell me also. But it doesn't tell me. We don't know how it's translated, tell me something. Because you don't know, and ignorant if you say it's the same. How do you know it's the same? How do you know all the aspects of it? The proof is upon you. It's not a general statement. She's saying, tell me something special, miyuchad, about the text that I wouldn't know otherwise. So I answered a few parts
A lot of times when we read a piece of Torah...
So I answer you, when you have to give a shiur, you need to make money, and you got to give a shiur in your Rosh Yeshiva. So you picked up a new possibility. I heard this in my Rosh Yeshiva. You heard Rosh Yeshiva say that? No. You get up and you don't have an answer. Listen, I got to make a living out of my Rosh Yeshiva. I better say it, But I will answer you the same. It depends, Each thing is different. There's the possibilities are open, and sometimes this way, sometimes that way. You have to know when yeah, when not. How do you know when? Okay, it takes years of training. Yes. So now you have a problem of... Yeah.
What did he think?
And now you have every text, every week, with Rashi. You have a text, and you have the literal meaning, Right? Rashi does not learn the literal meaning, learns the Jewish meaning. Right? Why? Because he said, you take the literal meaning, you're going to come out not get the real meaning. So therefore, and it can't be that meaning, so you have to go to the other level called Drush. That's how it works, right? It's the same thing here. Since we know in logic it can't be that let us make, right? It means to say there was a plan. Only Hashem made. So what do you mean let us make? The answer is derech eretz. And what does that mean? The Torah teaches us this derech eretz. From then on, you need the derech eretz. So that's exactly what the Medrash Rabbah says. Exactly what you just said.
No, why is it a thought?
I'm pushing it. I think that's what I see. That's what the words say.
So
Nobody said they push it.
No, so we're talking about an idea. The guy has an idea.
No, that's the
It's not
extreme.
what you're saying.
That's the extreme, Aaron.
Okay, no,
I make fun of it and say the extreme.
No,
But
so here
the
we're
real
saying,
truth
oh.
is that even if a man thinks he's not pushing,
Oh.
he thinks it's it,
Oh.
still
Oh.
he has to check himself.
That's-
I said
that's-
that. I said this. I
sorry.
said you were. He still has to check out what the source. That's why I brought the Derech Tfunos. He has to know the source of it. Yes. Like before Har Sinai and after Har Sinai. Before Har Sinai we're one way. After Har Sinai we changed. The whole Jewish Chalois Gzeres HaKosav on every Jewish soul changed after Har Sinai. We talked about that. Okay. Be'echad ba'adar mashmiyim ala shkolim v'ala klayim. On the first day of Adar, mashmiyim, they make a hachraza, and they announce in all the Ora Yisrael they should bring the money. Shkolim. Sounds Jewish. And also on klayim. Also on the klayim. That they got to be careful now. Sheyetzu leginois ulesodois lenakoisa mitzimcha klayim. They have to go out and see the places of klayim. They got to destroy them. Which is really a takona. The Gemara explains it. Omar Rabbi Yehuda b'Yishayna hoya oikrin u'mashlichem lifneihem. They would just rip it up and throw it. Misha Rabbi oy ve'aver hoya oikrin u'mashlichem ala drochim. Hiskinu shiur mafkirin kol hasada kul. They made hefkid all the fields. In other words, the time of in the month of Adar, they saw they need tikkunim. They made a tikkun. We're trying to make a tikkun for Purim. We have a thing called the Chevra Kedushas Purim. Who are the guy? I don't know where it comes. Trying to find the source of where do we know that they make a Chevra? Because Rav Alter Mikelim had the Chevra Kedushas Shabbos, and this Chevra this and Chevra that. Yes? Today, Zion ordered that ever Chadisha is today. That's why we didn't say Kad, because the minhag Yerushalayim is that. What do we do? Yeah. Yeah. He's Mavad. Okay. But whatever we should have done it, we do it. But I do know one thing. I know there's a little book called Zion Order of Har Tziyon. Why do we want to make Chevra Kedushas Purim? I was in Exlabar 2 years ago, and they gave out pamphlets against drinking. how they make Chil Hashems and everything else. And I took all those pamphlets. I grabbed them up, maybe about 100 of them, and I took them away. And I hollered, how can they make Laz and Klal Yisrael not give cover for Talmidei Chachomim? Because the Balabatim looked down upon the Yeshiva for drinking and for this. And other Yeshiva Bachas drink. Bamed Ramamurim, when you're Yeshiva Bach. And you're drinking. I want to explain what's the pshat in the drinking. You're drinking it properly. But if it's Hilalus and frivolity, that's wrong. Somebody came to me. I didn't see it myself. They told me that some little girls already grabbing the beer to drink the beer at certain simchas that were here right here in Yeshiva just recently. And they're drinking the beer and getting ready for Purim. Practicing. When I heard that, I felt this again. We have to watch out. Friends, what is it all about? What is it all about? For many years I had problems here. We had a Shaila maybe 20 years ago. We brought down Rayas, the Mishnah Brewer, the Bir Halacha. We brought down the Yalado. Substitute. Instead of drinking, does it have to be drafka through wine? Or it can be through other means. Some people even say other means. And then we said, no, the Ika mitzvah, the better mitzvah is through wine. And those wines years ago is 100 times stronger than our wines today. Our wines are like water today. And our whiskeys are not so. Those are real stronger beverages. So, the question is if we drink properly, if you have the right to drink. If you don't have the right to drink, so then you should do what the Mishnah Brewer says and go to sleep. Take a drink, go to sleep, finished. But what turns around is all this other part. So to criticize that Balabatim printed and criticize they shouldn't do it, that's chutzpah. That's how it was put. It's not covered at Torah, it's Balabatim. And I stood up and I spoke very harshly in Exlabar when I was there. Against the Balabatim and the people that printed it and what it was. But and there was a Maisa there that happened. Someone wanted to tell me, who knows what happened, the Yeshiva Bach, who knows what they did. But that's not a reason why the big goes here. This year, I want to explain why this year is more difficult than any other year. Since everybody possesses guns, if you have a suffix, either we take away the guns, or we permit drinking. Got to keep the guns, and also there could be all kinds of things at this period of time. And some people say this is the period of time when we have to watch out the Arabs, etc., who knows what. So it's preferable to then work on the more positive aspect of Purim called Kedushas Purim. Only somebody who feels that he is in the possession of a Talmud Chacham, who in his mind, he cannot have a steer between Seichel and non-Seichel, and he follows only his Seichel, and that's such a type of person, and I'll explain it right away that, okay, maybe he'd be allowed. But I don't know how many people are in that category. I want to explain it to you. Avraham Avinu was a Baal Chesed, Shilo Chesed. Hashem says to him, go and take your son and kill him. Against the Seichel, against all this theory. But he knows that he has to do Ritzon Hashem. He bends. What's the difference? Just like you make a bracha for the good, you make a bracha for the bad. How can you make a bracha for bad, Rabbi? Bracha for good, I understand. How can you make a bracha for bad? The answer is, you're making a bracha that recognizing that everything comes from Hashem. So you have to be in the madrega to make a bracha that it comes from Hashem. So then when we get drunk, one of the purposes of the drinking is that to recognize that both Mordechai and Haman are both from the master plan of Hashem. So we drink. Through the drinking, we lose the sense of values a little bit, and therefore the good and bad gets mixed up, right and wrong gets mixed up. You have to know that everything comes from Hashem, not the good and bad or the right and wrong, but it all comes from Hashem, whatever Hashem brings into the world, and I have to accept it. So Haman I accept, and Mordechai, and that's the level. And the Kabbalah people come in and say there's other levels and this and that. But it has to be on the sense of recognizing the godless of Hashem and the Ratzon Hashem. But if it's done because of frivolity and freedom, and I got to express myself, I can't be frustrated, there's a time to be myself and whatever it is, and be like the Goyim and be like New Year's party and have a heta for drinking and smoking and beating and taking these cans and being an achzari and hit the other guy. So already it's not Torah. And even the plays that they make. They make these in the Yeshiva, these plays. They make fun of the Rosh Yeshivas and this and that. So the Mishnah Berurah brings down the ones you have to make fun of is really what? Haman. And the Mordechai and the Torah, that's what's supposed to make Gramin. And really making fun of Rosh Yeshivas is really wrong. Making fun of teachers, whatever, is really wrong. Because it's people, I know from Yeshiva spoke that people were embarrassed afterwards, they couldn't come back. You know what I mean? What they didn't say or what they didn't explain Barabim in these Purim spiels. And the Rashi wanted to answer it that one year. I remember that year. They had Rabbi Scheinberg and Rosh Yeshiva going out to Honolulu there, and the whole story there. Oh no, the Rashi was there, laughed at him, but he laughed at himself because he can take a joke. But there's a certain point that's a joke, and a certain point that that's not derech eretz. So the more kedusha-dik way would be is getting a team of people together and to make gramin, get ready a show, gramin, different nice things, skits. That's the more Torah way. And it's also done in this period of time. You go around houses and raise tzedakah money. You go to the old city and raise tzedakah money for the yeshiva. I mean, that's what's done there. People raise thousands of dollars, tens and hundreds of dollars, are raised in Purim for yeshivas. In America, you go to the rich man home, the yeshiva boys come in, they give a little play, and they say, okay, we need money for the gemach of the students gemach, or the hachnasas kol gemach. You know what I mean? You don't ask for the yeshiva because yeshivas have to get money, but ask for gemach or this or for food or the extra food, whatever it is, and people give, and that's the time. And that's more dickon. That's another way. But you have to find the kedusha. So I told over the story. I said it. I repeat it again. A kid comes to me and he wants to know, can he wear a Saddam Hussein outfit, or a Molech outfit, or a Haman outfit? So the whole purpose again is v'yafoch, v'nafoch. What happens? It will change. So I didn't want to say to the kid, but I want to see his parents. He doesn't mean to have nahafoch. This kid is Dennis the Menace. This kid is an Amalek, the Midas Amalek. He's a cruel kid, a mean kid. He doesn't have to wear the outfit. You know what I mean? like I said to my grandkids, they asked me what kind of mask what are you gonna outfit? So I said, so one of my grandchildren said, his name is Mordechai, so he's Mordechai. So he doesn't have to wear an outfit. That's Mordechai. But anyway, but whatever it is, there's legitimate fun. There's legitimate drinking, there's legitimate, and there's excessive frivolity, and it comes to absurdity. And especially in these times, we have to keep into kedusha. The time of the Gemara, they had a guy kill somebody. One guy killed another guy in their drinking. It's not like it's strange, and that's not the way. Not because we're against it. I don't think this year we should. I think we should try this year to get more kedusha into it and to more thinking of positive ways. Gramin, Yedidus, maybe the Vads should get together, but not have a drinking party, but friendship, Ava, Reyus, but not the Ika mitzvahs of drinking. Because the Reyus, the Ava. Imagine at this moment you say, Rabbi, I'm standing up, I'm now going to learn Torah, the Avah. I'm going to learn instead of 3 hours, 5 hours. Instead of 5 hours, 10 hours. I want to do more learning of the Torah. I'm going to learn more quality. And I have such a chukka now to learn Torah. Imagine that would come out of Purim. Kimu v'kiblu. How would that sound? Instead of, at the end he's drunk, he lays on the floor, and it takes 8 hours later, and he's all knocked out, and he wrecked this, and he wrecked that. And, you know what I mean? Why not on the positive, kimu v'kiblu, the kedusha, and the same thing has to be training your kids. Get them on the kimu, and everybody get kimu v'kiblu, getting avasat Torah, kissing the Torah, how you learning more Torah, you know what I mean? And how you going to hachnas, how you going to be avoreyus lachaverim, echad lachaveru. You give shalach ma'ish lachavero. How you're going to go and raise tzedakahs for yeshivas. In the positive sense. Imagine a guy comes to me and say, Rabbi, every year I help the tzibur. This year I'm going to be only for myself and my family. How does that sound? You can say it differently. Not because that's not the main thing is Ava Reyes Ladam Chavero. But he can say, listen, this year I'm going to try to bring kedusha kedusha of Purim. And I want to try to start with my own self and my family, and then try to extend it. That sounds good. But will you do kedusha? Or will it be the same scene except he's with his family? Not to be reserved. You have Reyes, you have this, you have that. But again, it's definitely a happy time. Others a happy time. And you have to be happy. But with Jewish people, happiness doesn't mean drinking. Happy. Oh, Torah. But nobody's Yotze Sudas Purim with learning. You may be Yotze on Shabbos, I tell over the joke. When I was a kid, I heard this joke. I repeat it again. Guy was a darshan. His name was David. So they gave a drasha. Usually a drasha is 10 minutes, 20 minutes in the shul, 30 minutes. This guy darshan for 2 hours. So afterwards they finished. Most everybody ran home, and he was left alone. He was surprised that nobody took him home. So one of the balabatim, the maskilim, when he said to him, listen, with such a good drasha you gave, you can be Yosei according to the Mogin Avraham, the Shittas Mogin Avraham, that if you learn Torah all day long in such a good drasha, you don't have to eat anymore. That's like food. That's the Hanoi you get of Shabbos. She points out, but the Mogin David, Mogin in Yiddish means the stomach, and Mogin, that's Mogin Avraham. She said, but the Mogin David zok, that we got to give the man the food. But anyway, I never forget that joke. But the truth of the matter is, and it's really true, I say it over again, but the truth of the matter is that nobody says that on Purim Yotze with learning Torah. You can learn the halachas, sleep, But you have to figure out how, for yourself, to get Kedushas Purim. Not frivolity. Not a time to run around and you take the taxis looking around where fun is going on, and you want to join the fun, and you get these boppers and you're going to bop, and who knows what you're going to do. You're running around, who knows what you're doing. Or you are drinking or chaverim. How are you going to get? We got to get the Kedushas of Purim to us. And how do you get it to your kids? This thing called clean fun and not clean. We got to get clean fun, clean Kedusha, clean growth in Kedushas. That's what you got to get. And you need Eitzes and Tachbulos for yourself. We don't want anybody to come to the shul and bring lead pipes to break the tables and the chairs and say, listen, it says in the Shulchan Aruch that in the time of Simcha, if you damage somebody, you don't have to pay. You know what I mean? That's the case if it just so happens. But if you're a mamish, a mazik, and plan it, you have these. So we didn't want the kids even to have cap guns and guns, and it's not a good thing. Because it's, again, the head was like war. We have Milchemes Hashem, we have Milchemes Amalek, we have Milchemes Shel Torah. We're not involved in guns. Okay, kids a little bit, but they're planning already and working on the caps and the guns, and they're crying, standing on the floor. And the worst thing we don't want these sprays. No way. And people spray other people and ruin their clothing. You can't have it. You can't have it for your kids. If you have it, take it away and do something with it. Give it back. You can't have it. And if you do the Purim with Kedusha and plan it properly, so it'll elevate you. You'll be spiritually elevated. There's good fun. There's Gramin, you can say. There's, what? You want to say that? Gramin is, you have these songs.
You make
these poems,
And then you take the reality of the world, and you make poems on yourself, you talk about it. But not
my kids make, Rebbe. Today, that's what in my house we used to do. But I believe that we have a lot of grammar. My Rosh used to buy Rosh Yeshiva and used to make grammar. Everybody would add a little word there. Rhymes. Okay, rhymes, that. More or less. Prepare some grammar. And the real grammar can be, you can get books. There's books on it. There's Purim Torah books. I imagine they're in the market if you find them. The Megramin, interesting ones. Nice little chidushim, nice chaps. Where do you find in the Megillah this and where do you find in the Megillah that? You get the standard jokes. It's good for the kids too, the standard jokes in the Megillah. Maybe they're around, I don't know. In my days, there was one or two books around. They had little pamphlets. But one of them had to be a big lamdan to figure it out, with all you have the Purim with a Gemara, and you have to know the Gemaras, and find out what that guy wants there. Maybe that's the guy, Shlomo. Anyway, we got to get a chevra called Kedushas Purim. Why did I bring really the Megillah of the Parashat Shkolim? Because they had groups of people, vigilantes, make sure people don't do Klayim. And they announced it in advance. We want to announce in advance the month of Adar. Be careful. Get Kedusha of Adar into yourself. Not Hilulus, but Kedusha. And that's an important thing. Kedushas Purim. And you see guys not doing Kedusha, preparing wrong, you got to tell him. He's not preparing right. You got to tell your kids to do the right thing. You got to prepare right. You got to talk to the kids right. But to take all the joy out of the kids, it's also crazy. We're not talking about that. We're talking about this healthy, good part. What I wanted to do this year was, it says in the Mishnah, you put the word Haman, you write the word Haman on your feet and you bang it on a stick and you take off the word Haman.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Maybe the regular grog is, but it can't be for hours and hours and hours. Then it changes. It's just like the Gemara says, there's a machlekes. Should a person pray all day long or not? It's a machlekes. We paskin a man can, but those of you who hold you shouldn't gave an example. One time, there was a king, and he had people, say, long live the king, right? Long live the king. Imagine all day long, long live the king, long live the king, long live the king. I mean, all day and night. I mean, it's crazy. Instead of giving cover to the king, long live the king, long live, I mean, it turns out to be a joke. Instead of having the meaning in kavanah, it turns out to be a joke. So keep on banging. After a certain point, it turns into hilulus. Instead of having the kavanah, we want to meichek and really eradicate and rip out the amalek and the rishus and the sinna and the sheker in the olam. Right? What does it turn out to? You're looking at the friends, how you're banging louder, more, and everybody stops and you bang again to make sure I did it differently. I went out, and I snuck it in. I mean, that's not even with the theory and the feeling. It's not a ben Torah. Then you have the other people don't want anybody to bang whatsoever. They want to be yotzi the words, and that's the other. We don't say that either. And anybody that bangs, down his neck. That's not the way either. The Haman there, and the guys of the halacha is telling you, don't you bang, And the high minig Yisrael dinu, no way, not here, no way, no minig Yisrael dinu here. I mean, so we don't want that. We don't want that happening. You have that place, but to a point, it has to be done with the right kavanas. It can't be hillless, frivolity. And you prepare a good play, and you prepare a gramim. What's it like? So you prepare now. Clean fun is always good. The question is, can a man know when to stop? Can he take one beer? Well, he can't stop. He drinks 40. It's like potato chips. Can he stop? Can he have to eat until the bag's at the end? Or he can stop in the middle and control himself. Same thing with whatever you drink. Can you control or not control? If it's controlled, but we can't trust the guys because we have a track record. We have a track record. You can't say, well, we have a track record, A non-sadi. Reasonable reason. Anyway, what I will say is that you have to